Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Welcome to my kitchen. Beautiful summer's day. Taya asked me she had a special request for lunch today. So here we go. Here's what I'm making. And I've got some potato all curried and nice, all going on inside there, bubbling away. I just got to turn on the heat a little bit. And I've got some shrimp seasoned up, ready to dive in there. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Guys, welcome to my kitchen, as I said. If it's your first time here watching me, above, click on subscribe. All the latest videos are going to be sent to you. Below is where you're going to leave me your questions, your concerns, your comments, whatever you want to chat about. Hey, just leave a message here for your boy. And do remember to show some love and give the video the thumbs up. So here we go. Curry potato with shrimp. Hey, juicy and nice. Good with rice, roti, on its own, bread, whatever way you want to do it, you do your thing. But I'm telling you, this recipe is the bomb. The ingredients is as follows, and back here I've got 4 Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use this about any sort of potato you like. I like the Yukon Gold potato. 4 medium potatoes, a tablespoon of vegetable oil, half a teaspoon of salt. You can adjust this as we go along because your tolerance for salt will be different than mine. A heaping tablespoon of Madras curry powder. It's a Caribbean blend. I like to support my Caribbean products, and you know what, with being Caribbean, it has a sort of a unique flavor that's totally different than the stuff we get out from Far East. A tablespoon of green seasoning, and what that is a combination of all the fresh herbs we use in the Caribbean, like thyme, scallions, and we also add some ginger in there, some garlic. It's very, very, very easy to make, and you can personalize it however you like. For the recipe for making this green seasoning, go to CaribbeanPot.com and search green seasoning on there, or even on Google, search Caribbean green seasoning, and you will find that recipe for this green seasoning. And the back here I've got 4 cloves of garlic, something that, I mean, it's optional, but I love the sort of rich smoky flavor you get from it. And this here is half a teaspoon of anchar masala. Go to your favorite West Indian grocery store and you will find it there. A small onion, half of that Caribbean sunshine, a Scotch bonnet pepper, because we want that to have a little bit of kick. I mean, it's out of the Caribbean, it's got to have that kick, right? Something totally optional. Again, I have some parsley here. It's going to work out to about 2 tablespoons of that chopped parsley. I'm just going to add it at the end to brighten up the dish a little bit. We're going to need about, quarter teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. And the star of the show here, I have half a pound of shrimp that's cleaned, deveined, and it's been washed, all ready to go. Additionally, we'll need water. We'll need about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water. As we go along, I'll explain how much of that we will need. So here we go. Let's get cooking, guys. I'll just quickly show you guys how to peel and devein the shrimp. And I have all my shrimp here. And all you're going to do is go from the bottom and peel back on the legs, and you're removing the sort of outer shell. And all you're going to do now is pull back on there, and you've got a completely deshelled, if that's the word, shrimp. The next thing you need to do is get your paring knife and cut along the top of it, not too deep, and you open it up, and this part here is called a vein, which is pretty much all the nasties. There it is, and I'm just going to pull it out. I'm just going to put that under running water and scrape it all out. And there we go. We've got a completely deveined shrimp. Just going to show you that one more time. Turn my water off. Using my thumb, I'm just going to peel back on that outer sort of shell. And these shells, this sort of shells here, makes a wicked stock if ever you're making any sort of seafood bisque or soup or whatever. And again, so it's already peeled. You can hold it this way so it's much easier for you. Go from the thick part. You're not going too deep, maybe about 0.5 centimeter down. Cut it all the way along the back, and there is that vein that we're gonna remove. Just gonna give that a quick rinse again, and I've got 2 completely cleaned and deveined shrimp. The first thing we're gonna do is to season the shrimp with that green seasoning to allow it to marinate for a little bit while the potato cooks. I'm just going to get it all in there, and I'm using my spoon here. I'm just going to toss it and make sure it gets evenly coated with this green seasoning paste. After that's done, I'm just going to set it aside and get cracking on the potato, getting that sort of curry going while this marinates. Let's prep the garlic, onion, and hot pepper here, the Scotch bonnet pepper. And all I'm doing is in the back of my knife, I'm just going to smash down on the garlic just to break it apart a bit. Got all 3 cloves all ready there. So all I'm going to do now is give that a fine chop. These Scotch bonnet pepper are extremely hot, so what you got to do is, if you're concerned about the heat, this sort of white area here with the seeds and everything, that's where the majority of heat, the real vibe, the real fire lies in these Caribbean sunshine, aka Scotch bonnet peppers. I love these. I want the heat, I want everything. So what I'm going to do is chop everything. There we go, nice and chopped and ready to go. The onion, the final guy here we got to work with, and again, just a normal little chop. And we're good to go. The ingredients here, the garlic, onion, and pepper is ready to go. When handling these Scotch bonnet peppers, it's recommended you wear gloves because the oils from those peppers, the Scotch bonnet, as well as any sort of spicy hot pepper out there, the oils can really cause some harm on your skin, and worse if you touch your eyes or somewhere else with that pepper. Boy oh boy, you will be paying. So what I recommend you do is wash your hands with soap and water every time after using these guys. With the potato, and I've got them soaking here in water just for it not to go discolored, I'm just going to dump that water out. All we're going to do is, and you can certainly put these down on your cutting board and cut them, but I'm very comfortable using my paring knife. All I'm going to do is cut them in half and then cut them in quarters. So I've got 4 chunky pieces of potato here. I'm going to do the same thing with 3 of them. So I've got 3 of them that I've cut up nice and chunky. This way we're going to have some body. However, to thicken the gravy of this, what I'm going to do, the final one here, I'm going to cut it lengthwise, then I'm going to cut it again and into small pieces, maybe about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch thick. What's going to happen, these smaller pieces will cook first and it will thicken up that gravy nice and lovely for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one. And we're all set to get cooking now. Got a deep saucepan here, medium-high heat, it's nice and warm. So in goes that vegetable oil. And I'm just going to move it around the pot, the pan, pot, whatever you want to call it, to coat the entire bottom of the pan. And right after that, I'm going to add the chopped garlic, Scotch bonnet pepper, and onions to the pot. Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn my heat down to very low and let that sort of sweat down and cook. After a couple minutes, maybe about 3 minutes or so on that low heat, the onion, the garlic, and the pepper, get a wicked kick of that pepper once it starts toasting in that oil. So be prepared for it. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to add that curry powder into the pot and move it around the entire bottom of the pot. Here's what we're doing here. And this may seem a little bit unconventional to some of you who are accustomed to cooking your own curries at home. But we're toasting the curry powder here to really release all those wicked aroma and flavors and everything else. Your kitchen is going to start smelling wicked. I'm just going to give that 1 minute, and I still have it on low heat here. I'm just going to give that 1 minute, moving it around. Then I'm going to turn up my heat and add a 1/4 cup of water. Now this step here, what we're doing, we're actually cooking the curry powder. So this way, when the dish is all done, we don't get a sort of a raw curry taste to it. We really want to we're going to bring this up to sort of a simmer and let that cook for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, you're going to get a sort of a thick slurry on the bottom of your pan here. Here's what we're going to do now to intensify the flavor of this cooked curry. Now what we're going to do is turn up the heat and allow all that liquid to burn off, and you want that curry to go sort of grainy, and it's going to start sticking to the bottom of your pan. This is not only going to intensify the flavor of the curry, it's going to give it a nice rich color. And as you can see, I turned up my heat and it is starting to really sizzle away now. Hey, smelling nice. 2 minutes on that high heat and you can see exactly what I mean. It's nice and it's sticking to the bottom of the pan here. It's getting that lovely color. So what's next? We're going to add the cubed potato to it now and give it a quick toss in here. Immediately followed by that anchor masala, salt, and black pepper. Just going to give that another quick stir, and then I'm going to add water. So in goes, we're probably going to need about 1.5 cups of water in here. Sort of deglaze the bottom of the pan because you want to pick up all that lovely curry on the bottom. Remember, your heat is still on high here, so you want to bring that up to a boil. It's come up to a boil now, so what I'm going to do is, and I want to maintain this sort of rolling boil, so I'm just going to play around with the heat. I'm going to put it at medium and let it go. The other thing we're going to do is put the lid on there and keep it slightly ajar to burn up some of that liquid, because we really want this to not only cook and make the potatoes tender, we want that sort of liquid that we have in there, all that water, to sort of burn off as well. So by leaving it slightly ajar, the steam will escape and not go back right into the dish. I'm going to cook this now for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are nice and tender, and then we're going to add the seasoned shrimp that we have marinating. It's been 20 minutes, so the potatoes should be nice and tender now. You can always give it a test by pressing it with the spoon to see if it cuts and how tender and nice it is. What I'm going to do, because I want this to thicken up a little bit, using the back of my spoon here, I'm just going to press down on some of the smaller pieces of potato that we had in there, and that's going to thicken up everything nice and lovely. The final step here now, guys, the seasoned shrimp. We're just going to add that directly to the pot and give that a quick stir. That shrimp is going to cook very, very fast. And we are notorious in the Caribbean, and I've seen it time and time again, we overcook shrimp. So what I'm going to do, being that this pot was bubbling away nice and hot, what I'm going to do, after giving it that quick stir, I'm just going to put the lid on there, let that cook for 1 minute, and then turn off the stove. The residual heat in here will finish cooking that shrimp so they're nice and juicy and not overcooked and rubbery. Here's where you'll also taste for salt. I mean, I say your tolerance for salt, as we discussed, is going to be a little bit different than mine. So taste for salt and adjust accordingly. It's been 1 minute. Now, before I turn off the stove, what I'm going to do is hit him with a nice chopped parsley and then turn off the stove. Now I'm going to put the lid on there and let that sit for about 4 minutes. The curried potato with shrimp is all done now. Remember, we turned off that stove so the residual heat We'll continue cooking the shrimp. You will see they change color. They went that sort of pink orangish color. They start to curl in, which means they are fully cooked. Just look at this, guys. Ooh, smells good, and I just can't wait to get into this today. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen as usual. It's so much fun when I have you guys in here with me. You know what? Subscribe to the channel, and do remember to tell your friends about CaribbeanPot.com and the work Chris is doing over at youtube.com/CaribbeanPot.